Austin Metcalf's dad, Jeff Metcalf, joins me now here in Dallas. Jeff, thanks for being with us here today.
Thank you, Will. Thanks for having me.
You know, I think I'd love to just start this conversation with some of what I just shared with the audience. This is not new to you. I'm sure you've seen the video and heard the 911 call. I did notice you took your earpiece out. You didn't want to hear that audio again of the 911 call.
Correct.
Just too hard to hear it again and to see this video?
And there's another body cam footage that hasn't been released, and it has some pretty graphic details, and I can hear my son screaming, and it's something I don't really want to care to listen to again.
Totally understandable. What, with this video's release, Jeff, do you hope the public can see about this moment?
Well, I mean, obviously, the trial not being publicly viewed live, due to there's so many minors involved, and that's a different subject I could talk about on its own, because look at the damage that these young students who had to witness this murder, who have to live with this for the rest of their life. Every one of them, I believe, are in counseling. PTSD could be a thing. I mean, this is a trauma that you carry the rest of your life, possibly. Hopefully they can get the help they need and move forward and not be scarred from it. Me personally, I'm the same way. I need the help too, to make sure that I can move forward. And that's what I really want to concentrate on, is moving forward. I hope this video can clear up a lot of the misinformation that was provided throughout the entire year before the trial came to light. There were multiple lies and mistruths that were put on social media, that were spoken by even individuals that have some fame. People had their own opinions without even seeing the facts. And that's the part I have trouble with.
What do you make of that? Candidly, with the audience, you and I spoke a little bit earlier today, and it's one of the great mysteries for me, and how something that is so clear, the facts so obvious, was turned into something that was this great national discussion of race. I think you called it earlier. How did this become George Floyd 2.0?
Unfortunately, in today's moral decay of society, as we've witnessed, people believe that if they have their own voice, they scream loud enough, they're right. And they believe perception is their own reality. It may not be truth, but in their mind, it is their own reality. For a person to not able to objectively look at something, use common logic, common sense, to come to a determination just based on merely the facts, not the color of one's skin, that tells me a whole lot about your character if you choose that direction.
And you told me you feel like you know the moment this became more than simply a horrible tragedy and a crime story in North Texas, where it became this larger thing, and it was that press conference.
Yes, sir. I do believe that was probably one of the turning points. I was there to show up to pray. I was hoping we could show the world this wasn't a racial divide thing, that we could kind of close the gap instead of widening it. But at that point, they'd obviously retained the services of Dominic Alexander, a convicted baby-shaking felon advocate who decided to throw me out of the press conference, had me removed by police, and then proceeded to gaslight me and tell me how I was such, I can't remember the word he used, but that I shouldn't have been there, and it was not dignified to my son or myself, which I really couldn't quite understand as they proceeded to gaslight me. And also took it, there was a young lady who has followed the case also from the entire time. Her name is Sarah Fields. Also showed information about her. That's when they took it from any type of remorse, which they did not show, to the fact of, now we're going to play the race card. And now we're going to politicize this. Now we're getting a political activist involved. The two things I said on one of the first interviews I ever did was, please don't make this about race, and please don't politicize it. But they chose to do both.
And your goal that day was to simply get together and pray?
All I wanted, yeah. I was actually hoping to show them, hey, look, man, I know what happened was terrible. And your son made a horrible mistake. I was hoping for some accountability, maybe, and some remorse. Neither one was shown.
Have you ever spoken to the Anthonys?
No.
No apology, no remorse?
Nothing.
You were telling me you were inside the courtroom, quite obviously. After the verdict, the Anthonys left. They weren't there for Karmelo's sentencing.
That is correct. They weren't there for the sentencing, and they were not there for victim impact statements. They left that poor child up there by himself. As soon as the verdict was read, he was guilty. his family and some other advocates left the courtroom and turned in their badges.
Jeff, I was talking to you earlier. I asked about Austin's twin brother, Hunter. And I asked you, what has life been like for Hunter in school? Frisco Memorial has other black students. What's the relationships been like at school? What has life been like for Hunter?
Well, I can't speak, for Hunter. I can only try to imagine. But, he held his grades. He had straight A's this year. He was captain of the football team, took over his brother's position. I honestly can't see anyone that has the strength or the mental fortitude as much as that young man does. I told him, matter of fact, I told him right after the trial when he went up to give his victim impact statement that I saw a boy walk up there, but what I saw walk down was a man. He was calm, to the point, was able to articulate his words in a way that could be very understood very well. Asked Karmelo to look him in the eye to show him some respect, and never once became emotional, and was able to convey what his thoughts were at that moment.
And you told me that multiple black students throughout Frisco High, Memorial High, also in the middle school, the entire community rallied around Hunter, rallied around your family, rallied around Austin. The point being, what was happening actually on the ground and in your lives was so different than what was taking place in the national media, in the conversation, for example, on The View.
Don't get me started on left liberal who have Showtime. But anyway, the community and the school itself, obviously we dedicated the season to Austin, and there was a logo, motto, whatever you want to call it, it's called All In. A stood for Austin. The two ones were his number 11. I stand for integrity. N stands for never quit. And they dedicated the season to him, and that became the motto. And they also presented me and Megan with a framed jersey of Austin, with his jersey number 11 that hangs above my fireplace as we speak. But as far as the makeup of the team, I'd say half the team are blacks. We don't see color. So all I see is character in people. I don't care what color you are. I want to judge you how you treat people. What's your character like? Your color makes no difference. It doesn't determine your IQ. It doesn't determine your faith. It doesn't determine how much money you have. But your character shows who you are truly. And that's how I judge people.
And you said, don't get me started on it, but to your point, a lot of big voices in the media have talked about this, said, I don't understand. I could play a clip for you, which I'm not going to, of Sonny Hostin on The View saying, I don't understand how this couldn't possibly be self-defense. So what is your judgment of all these people in the media that have spoken on the case?
Well, they're just like anybody else. They don't know me. They don't know Hunter, Austin. They don't know Karmelo. They're looking for their 15 minutes of fame or their clickbait or their clicks. They're looking to monetize the death of my son. I really wish they wouldn't speak about at all. Because one, if that woman said that, she has no idea about the facts of the case, but she wants to spew her public opinion on a platform that reaches millions of people every day. Do I have that platform? No, but today I have a little platform to say what I'd like. She is completely wrong. And if they want to take me and call me and ask me to be on The View with them, I would gladly fly me up there and let me talk to all of you.
Well, I can promise you more people are watching you right now than watch The View.
It's not hard to believe.
Last thing, Jeff, you said that they don't know your son. What would you like the world to know about Austin Metcalf?
Man, I don't think we have enough time. But, Austin, I'll try to sum it up. He was a leader. He was a God-fearing son. He had compassion. He showed love. He always helped, always was helping his teammates, always helping the younger kids from middle school who was transitioning to high school football. He would go and talk to them and tell them what to expect. He would coach them in the weight room. He was a leader. When he stepped on that field, he became someone totally different. And he played, I told him once before, I said, son, you play with such controlled rage. And it shows. And for him to have all the accolades and the thing and where he was going, there's no doubt in my mind he was playing D1 football. But, let's just go a step forward. Maybe there's that 1% chance he does get to the NFL. I'm maybe biased because he's my son, but he had the numbers, the stats, and the size. So the possibility does exist. I don't know about the probability, but the possibility surely existed.
Well, I'm sorry for all that you and your family have been through, and you and I have spoken, and I know you're continuing to go through it. I know you're getting a lot that is completely undeserved and unfortunate out there. So you continue to. But I appreciate you sharing with us, and with the world about Austin.
Well, that's one thing, all in, and this is one of the things that people understand that we did all the time was this. And this is sign language for I love you. If you ever see my boys or whatever, that was kind of like, their thing to tell me, hey, man, I'm thinking about you, I love you. And I just want the world to understand, it all starts with you, and it all starts at home. So as a parent, do your best. Are your kids? Doesn't mean they're going to turn out right or wrong. It doesn't guarantee that they will live or die. But I do believe if you instill your moral values and a moral compass, I think our society is going the wrong direction right now. And us as parents are the only ones that are able to change this, because our kids are the future. And what does our future look like with what we're teaching them right now that is acceptable?
Jeff Metcalf, thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube, and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.